we're live.
Alright. Sweet. Welcome back, everyone, to Drawing with Krispy and Storm Song. Today we are going to continue our drawings of shitposting.
Last week we were music playing.
Oh, wait. Is that coming through?
Yeah. If it's on your desktop, it'll come through.
Oh, I was not aware of that. Okay. Well, never mind then. That's news to me. I was like, I have headphones and they can't hear my music. Apparently not.
Well,
just shows how much I know about streaming. Anyway. Unless people want to hear about my music taste. But anyway, what shall we draw starting off today? Because last time I drew some ox holes, and I'm going up to draw some more.
Okay, let's see. Let's have you draw... You've done Sparrow, you've done Tim, you've done Diggs, you've done Techie. Draw Big Mike.
Ooh. I gotta see his PFP. Is that... I don't remember what his PFP looks like.
Well, currently it's the dog that says, "Fuck you, pay me."
I can understand that.
But, let's think,
Because I'm thinking Big Chungus, but...
He's not that big of Mike. No, just kidding.
You've heard of Wide Tom, yes, but what about Wide Mike?
Ooh, you could do...
I drew Big Mike, no kidding.
No!
That was like the shittiest scribble.
Lol.
Man, this is a tough one. Some people's are easier than others.
Like in his own weird right, Tim makes drawing Tim easier.
That's the thing. The more of a character someone is, the easier it is to draw a character of them. Which is, you know, sounds pretty common sense when you say it like that, but...
Let's see. I'm looking through the list of people in the Ox right now. We have... Ooh, draw a goat with a guitar.
Oh, I'll draw a goat. First of all, this might sound dumb, but I need to actually remember what a goat looks like. It's one of those things like, I know how to draw this, and then you sit down to draw it, and then like 5 minutes later you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Goat's gonna hate me for what I have in mind, but you'll see. You know, it's always kind of weird, like, everyone always associates goats and stuff with the devil, and I'm just like, is it because of the eyes?
I mean, I have a technical answer to that question.
I feel like something has to do with, like, goats being a symbol for Baphomet and things, which, that's a whole other conversation I don't know if we want to get into, but...
Well, just in the strictly historical, a lot of it had to do with goat imagery being used by certain pagan tribes.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
And so, yeah, like the Catholic Church ended up deeming it to be a demonic symbol.
I mean, I hate to say it makes sense, but it makes sense.
Well, yeah, it's how history works.
Isn't that the fun part of history?
Violence.
Oh, demons. Well, it's like that quote. I don't know if I should attribute it to Call of Duty or not, because I'm sure it's been said by other people, but what history is written by the victors.
Oh, I mean, that's an old quote. That's, shit, I want to say that's...
So you mean to tell me Captain Price didn't say that? No, okay.
That particular quote is Winston Churchill. Okay, I knew it was somebody World War II.
Yeah.
Okay, it gets attributed to Churchill. It's not known if it really is.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like that didn't sound like it made sense, because I can't see Churchill being the originator or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something that's just been, like, time immemorial. He's just the last famous person to say that. Probably in between, like, glasses of gin, being like, fuck you.
Brandy. Oh god, you've heard some of the stories of, like, his drunken conversations at parties?
I mean, I've not off the top of my head, but I've heard, like, some of the quotes where it's like, in the morning I will be sober and you'll still be ugly.
Yeah, and then the same woman said, "Sir, if you were my husband, I would poison your tea." His response was, "Madam, if I was your husband, I would drink it."
Oh, that's right. I mean, you could say whatever you want about Churchill, but he knew how to roast people, I guess. It's funny, you go back and look at all, like, the charismatic people of history, and it's like, man, everyone said how much of an asshole this person was.
Yep. Well, you know, people don't become leaders by being easy to, control.
I will say that from my current RimWorld playthrough. And how many people I've enslaved in it so far.
Lol.
I just started...
RimWorld, slavery is the morally superior option.
Yeah. Makes building faster. I was going to draw a Brazil flag here, but I don't know if it's going to show. Oh, I can try. I mean, I feel like as long as you get the colors close, people get it. It's not like it's hard to recognize the Brazil flag.
Man? I had the exact quote ready.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
We are drawing goat today. He may or might not kill me for this picture. We'll see. Actually, you know what? I don't know why, but every time I think of goat, I just imagine he's wearing aviators, so he's getting aviators. Probably because that was, like, on the one stream.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Oops. Wrong layer. Oh, never mind, it wasn't. I'm just using the wrong kind of brush. You know what the nice thing about painting digitally versus traditionally is? You're not going to accidentally drink your paint water cup thinking it's coffee.
I mean, yes.
I'm not saying I've done that. I'm saying I know people who have.
Interesting. Fascinating, even.
Probably helps that most paints nowadays are non-toxic.
That takes the fun out of it. No, joking.
Is it really a delicious treat if it doesn't kill you? I forget how you hold a guitar pick, so fuck it.
Between the first finger and the thumb.
Well, fine. Get rid of my excuse. I see how.
Oh, no. It's the first two fingers and the thumb. So no, you had it right.
God damn it! Thankfully, I can redo instead of undo. People are like, oh, why do people draw digitally? It's like, because you can fucking fix things so quickly. Actually, I don't know if anyone says that nowadays about people drawing digitally. That just might be me projecting.
I mean, those of us that remember what it's like to draw non-digitally probably say that.
I mean, I'm not saying I've stopped drawing non-digitally. I've got sketchbooks surrounding me right now. I'm just saying when I normally work on stuff that I want to do be a final version is digital.
Yeah.
That is the fun thing about technology, though, is it allows things to be more accessible. You know, if I wanted to make, like, a painting, that would probably be a lot more time-consuming doing it on a canvas versus like at a drawing program.
Yeah.
Not to say the canvas isn't worth it if that is what you prefer. Just more of different strokes for different folks is all. Possibly, I mean that's. I mean, not to get too much into AI art because I'd rather not, but I will say if it's people wanting to get into art and AI art allows them to get into it because it allows for them to better visualize things they want to draw, I'm all for that.
Oh yeah, I see it as a resource so long as you're not treating it like, free whatever.
Yeah. But that's a whole other conversation. And I'm too busy drawing a goat playing a guitar.
Yes.
I don't know if goat wears cargo shorts, but in this he is. Not that I can really draw the pockets from this angle.
He is the cargo goat.
Cargoat. Actually pretty fitting when you think about it.
Yes.
You know, this is going to show my age a bit, but...
and then I know after this one who you should draw, thanks to Mr. Digiman.
Oh.
Which is Mad Ducks as a duck.
I don't know why the hell I didn't think of that in the first place.
It's going to be those of us with animal-themed pictures that are going to be the easiest.
Yeah.
Save for, like, Spara, who has the whole catching kangaroo thing, but...
I'm going to mail this... I'm going to send this to Goat, and he's going to be like, fuck you. Actually, never mind, because, like, literally, like, half of the ones that I made last week, people fucking turned to their profile picture, so I don't know. Not to humble brag, because that totally sounds like I'm humble bragging.
Humble brag harder. I demand it.
I do okay. Oh, I'm loving this already. I should turn these into stickers. I'd say that's looking very goat-like.
What goatery is this?
Oh, the goaterist.
Low-key goated. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, damn it. Did it again. I drew in the wrong layer again.
It always goes wrong.
Oh, it's always something. Usually for me it's like I'm on the wrong layer for something, but thankfully that's not affected things too much most of the time. I'm just glad that most of the drawing and design programs out there allow you to access like automatic backups. Most of them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for Adobe because I haven't used them in years. Side note, fuck Adobe.
And checking off the Ox Bingo card.
Oh, good. Honestly, fuck X company here is just on the Ox Bingo card regardless.
It takes up a whole row of it. That's why we're all winners.
A
God,
winner is you.
Say shit like that.
A winrar is you. Is that from that that fucking big rig racing game where it's just like the most broken game. I don't know why, but I feel like yeah. Ah, fuck. Can never get elbows right. Actually, that's not true. I can do it okay, I guess. Most people tend not to focus on elbows. If they do, well.
Then they are a marvelous saint among artists.
Well, the thing that sucks is I can't use my own for reference because I actually have a congenital defect, I think it's called. Basically, like, it was like my elbows came together in a different way, to put it less colorfully. The short of it is they're kind of wonky.
Yes. Wonky elbows.
Yeah. Honestly, you can't really notice. You don't really notice unless it's like you really look at them. Hell, I didn't notice until my mom took me to the doctor, all concerned. Just one of those things where it's like, oh, if I was in ancient Sparta, they probably would have thrown my ass off the cliff.
Cliff, actually, baby!
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Leave the health and safety of your infants to some judgmental elderly. Does Sparta still exist as a city in Greece?
Not by that name, but yeah, you can go there still.
I feel like they probably wouldn't want to capitalize that as much, unless they're like really want to play into the 300 thing. Then they just have a bunch of rip dudes going around in, like, leather underwear.
So yeah, the trying to remember.
Oh, are we doing some geography?
Yeah.
Geoxifree, if you will. You know, there's something that I have to keep telling myself while I'm drawing this stuff, and it's actually something that I've been trying to do more of lately after talking with a friend of mine who also is an artist. Because he does like a more cartoony style like I do. And he's able to do, I mean, he does like animations and things too, but there's something about his style that I really like, so I like asked him about it, and basically his thing is like, when it comes to comics and things, you know, if you're drawing something, you want to ask yourself, is this something I'm going to be enjoying drawing over and over again? Because you really don't think about that when you're just drawing characters in the first place, but once you start drawing them over and over again, it's like, okay, there's certain details that I could probably stand to cut from this. You know, that's something I have to catch myself with doing, because I'll add like detail to my stuff as at work, which is fine. I enjoy doing it, but if it's something for like a project where I'm going to have to draw it over and over again, then it's going to start getting old real quick, you know.
All right, no, so Sparta does still exist as a city.
Oh shit, they still call it Sparta.
Well, they pronounce it Sparti, but yeah, Sparta.
Oh, they're just being pretentious. They know what the fuck it is.
Yep. Its current population is 17,000, so I mean it's a small town by our standards.
Interesting. You know, that's the crazy thing to think about with Europe is like, you have these small towns where it's just like such small groups of people, and it just has so much history to it.
Some of it has to do with isolation from like what is an accessible road and so forth. Sparta in its ancient times was largely more accessible by the sea and not by land. Back when the sea was...
Yeah.
the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, back before we had like boats that can go out in the deep ocean.
Yeah. Well, not just boats, but like the ability to mass pave roads and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something we kind of take for granted nowadays, which I find interesting. I just the idea of like we're so used to boats being able to go on the deep ocean, but like that used to not be a thing. And honestly, for some nations, it can still be a difficulty, like militarily wise. There's a lot of countries, not to get too into the weeds on it, but there's a number of countries where they have naval capability, but it's not deep water naval capability. Like they can defend their territory just fine, but when it comes to like force projection, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
But also just in terms of like civilian or just like normal life. I mean, I remember we used to go to vacation in the Outer Banks, and we would go like all the way down to the bottom of the island chain to this place called Ocracoke Island, and the only way you can get there is by a ferry. Mm-hmm. And you're on this ferry, and you think you're like out in the middle of the ocean and things, but really it's more of you're staying pretty close to the shore and the islands and things, and then you actually get to this island and you go out to like where the ocean's at, and you just see the might of the ocean. It's just like, oh man.
Yep. It's like big or something.
Ocean deep.
Ocean.
There's all kinds of shit in the ocean.
It has goat teeth.
The ocean has goat teeth. That's one of those things I just want to get as made as a shirt just to confuse people. Do you ever want to do that? Just like make stuff just to mess with people?
From time to time. It has definitely crossed my mind.
Make some bumper stickers of the cursed shit that I've drawn just to... There's a... I don't know if my brother still has this shirt or not, but there was a shirt that my friend made for him based off of this drawing that he did where it's like a duck flying and following him is like an anglerfish with wings, and it's like, isn't evolution beautiful? I hope he still has that shirt. That shirt was so much fun. It's like the one thing my brother used to draw a lot of was like this derpy looking anglerfish. Okay. Ah. That's right, I still have to do the other hand, damn it. I don't like drawing hands.
You'll draw your hands and you'll like it, young lady.
I bite your hands. Has anyone like ever been grievously injured by like a guitar string snapping, you think?
Not a guitar string, but a bass string.
Oh, those are thick.
Yeet, these is thick boys. Actually, there's a metal band from Japan called Concerto Moon, who, it happened to their bass player, he, ended up snapping a string during, a recording session, and, it ended up lacerating his eye.
Oh.
Now he turned out to be fine, and it didn't lacerate the pupil, so like he ended up being okay. After they took him to the hospital, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely a
But
trip to the hospital.
yeah, but yeah, they forgot that, because they were more concerned about his eye was bleeding, that the recording was still going.
Oh.
And so they opened up one of the songs with the sound of him screaming.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. That's great.
And it's just like, oh, oh my.
You know
These,
they say art
these,
comes from pain.
yeah, this is a moment. Yes.
It's like God, I forget the name of the metal band, but there's an alleged song where they or I don't know if it's alleged, I think they actually did it, where they like got all these mental patients to be in the song opening for it on the guise of it being scream therapy. So you just have this fucking metal album, this death metal album that just opens with just screaming and just all kinds of like insane noise.
Yeah. I wouldn't be remotely surprised. Can't say that I know that particular story, but that tracks with what I know of my people.
Yeah. Black metal and death metal, that is a whole nut house of stuff.
Yep.
It's like church burnings and murder.
So the funny thing about that, and this is actually a hilarious bit of, we'll call it heavy metal lore I've learned from Norway. The idea of black metal bands burning down churches is actually a joke. Like more, it basically it was like, oh, blame the black metal bands, for that church burning down. Because on one occasion a black metal band actually did do that.
Yeah.
But the majority of times that churches burn down in Norway, it's usually alcohol related.
That makes a lot of sense.
And they'll upright say like, yeah, black metal did it again. Nah, it's us. like that it's just booze and church, everything a man needs. Booze, church, and fire.
I guess they don't use just regular communion wine at the Norway churches. It's just straight mead.
Well, I mean, mead is a wine. Okay, so, like, I'm sure you know my meaning when I say this, but, like, when you're drawing something that's supposed to be part of an architectural structure...
Like an engraving?
Well, in this case, the slats of an industrial background, and you're just like, God, if it looks uneven, I will be angry.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you're saying. Oh, hold on. I need the colors of the Brazilian flag.
Green and yellow and black, my good sir.
Actually, it's blue. Source, I found the Brazilian flag.
I've been zazzled. Bamboozled, even.
Oh, man. I miss red versus blue.
Yep. I've been zazzled, bamboozled, and possibly hoodwinked.
Trying to think of some good Sarge quotes.
On the next episode of Red vs. Blue, someone will die. I sure hope it's Griff.
Don't get misty with me, Francine. We've already killed you and used your corpse to drain up the windmill. Oh god, I'm starting to lose track of my layers. That's not the greatest sign. Shows my organizational skills, I suppose.
Hey there, Sir 729.
Hello.
Yep, we have Digi and Sir in the audience right now.
Well, hello. I'm
Like
drawing goat
Sir.
currently.
He draws the goatiest.
I remember that version of Audio Slaves Like a Stone. That was a horrible joke, I'm sorry. It wasn't even, like, funny. It was just me making a stupid reference.
I'd be cross with you if I wasn't.
Oh fuck! I did the banner thing wrong. Damn it! I gotta fix that. Brazil making me having to fix their flag and shit.
I'm just thinking that one of, you know, it's the chieftain or the high priest from El Dorado, and it's like, sir, something's wrong, but this, and then he has the shocked look on his face.
Yeah, I love that meme.
Yeah, and it's like, but sir, what? You've been on the wrong layer for 17 minutes.
Oh no! I would make that face as well, and then my face would be like pixelated, like lines with color overlay because I put it on the wrong layer.
Yep.
Okay, now I fixed the Brazil flag. It may not be 100% accurate, but they can sue me.
Actually, they can. Be careful about. No, I'm joking.
Oh God! Streamer got sued because he drew the Brazilian flag wrong. Not because I drew something offensive on it. It was just like, oh, the angle was slightly off. All right, prison.
I break your hands.
Oh God.
We learn. God. Goat just ends up being like the ultimate despotic dictator.
I mean, I don't know how he's played Hearts of Iron, but I can imagine.
He's like, mispronounce my name and I break your hand. This is not.
How do you mispronounce his name?
Not because he's angry, but because it's how the joke has to end.
Yeah, the joke has to end with your hands being broken. It's the punchline.
The punchline is when we make you punch something with broken hands.
Oh no! It's the most common kind of goat in Brazil.
Anyway, here's Wonder.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took you this long. That's why I said I think goat's gonna kill me.
Yeah, no, I was drawing these slat lines, so I was just like,
Nice.
not really parsing what was going on in front of me.
Oh, it's okay. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma, and then it's just that fucking thought bubble of
Hamster
Patrick
on
and
a
the
wheel.
milk spilling. Yeah. Or the milk just spilling over. You know, I think it's a holdover from my graphic design days, and I'll always try to like keep the color scheme as small as possible. Although that was more having to do because the colors would have to match up with like CYMK or like just whatever reasons the colors would cost extra money to print versus just like pixel sampling.
Yeah. Well, this is also funny to me because I'm currently working on a song with Goat right now, and he's having me do banjo part. Like, I'm synthesizing it, so I don't play actual banjo.
Oh man, I should have put a banjo in this. That would have made this funny.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. No, and it's a...
Oh, you're fine.
It's a bluegrass cover of a Japanese hard industrial song.
I think you were telling me about this last night, actually, because I remember you saying that, and I was like, that sounds like a very Goat thing.
Yeah, it's from one of the Metal Gear games.
That's right. It's like Stranger I Remain.
Yeah. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear is just one of those series. You know what didn't help is like when I like wanted to know what Metal Gear is about. I was like, oh, I know. I'll watch the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid 4. Don't do that. I was watching this like, okay, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, but it didn't help any.
It absolutely did not. I never really got into Metal Gear, mostly because I didn't have a PlayStation and an Xbox. It's always kind of more of a Halo guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that really is a comparison, but still. I'm also still pissed I can't play Unreal 2 anywhere. Thanks, fucking Epic Games.
Wait, what did Epic Games do?
They basically pulled it from Steam and every other website. So the only way that you can't even play it on Epic. You can't get it anywhere unless you get it like secondhand discs or something. And it's probably because Epic wants to remaster it at some point and release it, or they just don't want people to buy their IP for reasons? I don't know. It's just dumb either way, because that was a game that I really enjoyed. Maybe not so much for how good it was gameplay-wise, but just for, like, the world that it set up and everything, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, I remember the one place you went, it was like this frozen ice planet with a research station on it, and there was just all these insects running around that were getting mutated by this alien artifact. Actually, the one of the most crazy levels that stands out to me from that was you had to go to this living planet where it was just this giant like organism living on the surface of like just a rock somewhere that was slowly being terraformed to kill it by this one corporation, but you had to go into the bowels of it and retrieve this alien artifact. And then you had to fight your way back out because once you pulled the artifact, the creature just like started releasing like antibodies and shit to kill you. Yeah. Just like fun things like that.
I do love that kind of science fiction where it's just like there's a whole line of physics as to why that wouldn't work.
Yeah, but
in
it's
biology, at least with what we know. But like at the same time, it's just like, oh, but that's such a cool concept.
I know. It's the same thing with like power armor. It's like power armor would not necessarily be the most practical thing, but I fucking love it to death. It's one of my favorite things in sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who doesn't want to wear a tank?
Yep.
It's like... No, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was saying,
Oh. Oh, what I meant to say was, like there's definitely a place for more realistic sci-fi, and I love it all the same. But it's also just, like... I view it more as, like, just a choice in what you want to consume at the time. Like, what you want for dinner. You know, it's like... Maybe I want something a bit fancier. Maybe I want something more fun, you know?
Maybe I'll fight him. Maybe I won't. Adrian!
You know they have a Rocky statue outside the Philly Art Museum?
I'm aware of that, and it's because I recall hearing about the weird controversy around that, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Maybe. Either way, it's just like you go by that some days and there's just crowds of people taking pictures around and it's just like, oh, okay. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Wunderbar.
I'll send that to go later. Alright, so Mad Ducks is next. Oh man, I could have a lot of fun with this.
Digiman says streamer found guilty of misdrawing Brazilian flag. Court forces him to go to Brazil.
No, not Brazil.
I don't want to go to Quebec.
I've been to Montreal. It's not the worst city I've been to.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of a dumb picture that I think Gordon showed me once of a guy getting dragged into a toilet, and the caption is, "I don't want to go to Quebec."
Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. Actually, I kind of want to go see Detroit just for the meme of it. I don't know if I'll necessarily go dressed like a stalker from Stalker, but it would certainly fit the aesthetic. Alright, so let's see. Mad Ducks. See, the problem is with Mad Ducks, I could take it like 50 different ways.
Now you have the kid in the candy store problem.
I know, right? Oh, God. How long is a duck's neck?
Good question. That's more of a swan right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like drawing, I was like, nah. Okay, I did not mean to type in duck game. I just typed in duck.
Ducks only have a somewhat long neck.
Oh, it's a, yeah.
It's not meandering like a swan or a...
Oh, God. I found the perfect reference picture. 1 second. There it is.
Oh.
Look into my eyes.
Remember, green is not a creative color.
Green is evil.
And just, it's that series online of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh, God.
And it's like, they're talking about being creative. And then he's like, what about I painted it green? Green is not a creative color. And she destroys his piece of art.
Oh, right. It's like the robot or something?
Yep. Let's all never be creative again.
See, that right there is like up with Too Many Cooks.
Oh, yeah. It's meant to be, like... You're not sure that what you're seeing is right.
It's definitely like one of those things like, don't watch this while stoned or drunk.
Yep. It kind of matches its name. Don't hug me, I'm scared. Well, like, part of it is, the guy who made it said it was, him channeling, like, the dissonance he felt as a child when watching, like, educational programming.
You know what? I see it.
Because a lot of times, like, you tell children things in simplicities because they're not necessarily ready for the full-bore, what this world is really like. But you don't want to lie to them. And a lot of times people take the need to, speak to children in simplicities as license to lie to them.
Yeah.
And so, like, they talk about in school, like, they want to encourage creativity, but it may only be the creativity they want to encourage.
Yeah. I get what you're saying now. I'm also just thinking of, like, you had shows like that when I was a kid, and then it's like, oh, hey, Invader Zim's on.
Yes.
We had some of the weirdest fucking cartoons growing up.
Ren and Stimpy, Invader Zim, Angry Beavers, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yep.
Rocko's Modern Life.
Cat Dog? Does that...
Oh,
that kind
God,
of fits.
Cat Dog. Cow and Chicken.
Oh, Cow and Chicken absolutely is one of those. It's just like... It's like, why are cartoons so tame now? That's probably part of the reason.
Yep.
Although I will say, the psychological trauma of Courage the Cowardly Dog definitely made me the person I am today.
The things I do for love.
I just always remember there was this one episode. It was the episode with the lady that was like obsessed with perfection or whatever. But there was the other episode, like
I'm pointing
that was.
fool.
There was this other episode that was paired with it, which I always saw when I had some kind of stomach bug, where it was like they were in this jazz club, and there was this giant like fetus like dude that was there, and he was like making them perform for him, and if he didn't like the performance, he was like, "Oh, you gave me heartburn," and they like went down a trap door, and I forget what happened to him, but it was just like, it was the most surreal shit, and the only times I saw it was when I was sick, so I'm like, does this episode exist? And it's made worse because it is deleted off of the Courage the Cowardly Dog collection that's like on Hulu or wherever the hell it's at. It is not in the like that literally makes like me think it's like, was this real?
Oh, I know what you mean though, because like there are plenty of episodes like they'll just only show up when something, but it's not when it's convenient for your remembering whatever the hell was just going on.
Yeah. Oh, we're off to a good start.
It's the daddest of mucks, the maddest of ducks, the baddest of bucks, the laddest of lucks. Okay, I'm done. I have no more rhymes. Watch where you're going, you fool!
Ha ha! Stupid dog! I don't know why, but he's getting a ball-peen hammer. I just feel like that's very appropriate for Bad Ducks. I could see him using a ball-peen hammer for just
Well, now
whatever.
I want y'all to know that I expect y'all to be friendly to each other, or I'm gonna smash your kneecaps with this hammer. Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
I've lost feeling in my kneecaps. What does that mean?
My blood hurts.
My blood hurts. Getting tetanus like my blood hurts. Oh
Angry
god.
possum attack. My blood hurts.
It reminds me of that one episode of Futurama where they're like Fry eats the gas station sandwich and gets the worms. But the one point, like he's in the basement when the boiler explodes, and he's like seeing Zoidberg with a pipe through him. He's like, "Well, doctor, my lead pipe kind of hurts."
Yep. Or that one moment when his memory gets wiped by the nib lights, and he's like, "Did everything just taste purple for a second?"
Oh yeah. Oh god. Or the one where they have the X-ray specs. Or they like the X-ray flashlight, and he like Bender aims at it in his junk. And he's like, "Ow, my sperm!" Then he does it again. He's like, "Oh, it didn't hurt as much that time."
Yep.
God, apparently they're bringing Futurama back on Hulu now, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I like Futurama.
Well, I'm better off with the idea since it's like the original cast and all.
That's true, yeah.
Because like if it was like not the original cast, then El Problemo.
You cannot have Futurama without Bender, Fry, and Leela.
Well, and by original
and
cast, I mean the actual voice actors.
Oh, like actually, no, you can't have it without any of them, really.
Yeah, I think my favorite line from the entire thing that I always remember is like, "So he's not perfect, Leela. You don't want to end up old and lonely like Zoidberg!"
Zoidberg!
Just strategic shouting is the best way to play Zoidberg. That's coming out of your pay. Oh, I'm ruined.
Yeah, I think this is looking very, very Mad Ducksy.
Mad Duxian.
I also forget how you color a duck, so this will be fun. Oh god, there's many colorations of duck!
Yeah, brown for the crest, green for the head, generally white for the body if you're going for a colorful duck.
I don't know what I'm going for, I'm just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what shit pulls.
Similarly, there's a body swap episode of Tailspin that I never got to see because every time I came into rotation, something came up. Yep. But yeah, deleted episodes and such. Like, I was witness to the Tiny Toons episode that was like the Don't Drink and Drive
about
and
Tiny Toons.
Yeah, like it was a Don't Drink and Drive / Don't Underage Drink episode, in which they kill characters to emphasize that like drinking and driving is dangerous
for Tiny Toons.
Yeah, and underage drinking is dangerous, and they fucking kill Plucky, Hampton, and Buster.
What the fuck?
So, yeah, that episode got banned from TV for obvious reasons.
Oh, why? Did it give kids trauma?
Quite possibly.
It's like when they... Did you have that at high school? Like, where they'd have, like, the sort of scared straight drinking and driving thing with prom? Or is that just me?
I've seen it before, but it was not in the context of high school.
Okay, because we had that at my high school, and they did like a full-on like dramatization with like students involved and everything of like a drunk driving accident that killed people. They had paramedics and firefighters there, and it was just like to scare us into not drinking and shit, which didn't work because the night of prom we went to someone's house and we're all drinking there because it's prom. But still, it's just like why like put students through unnecessary trauma? It's like Jesus.
It's gonna save their life. Yeah, no, it's
It's not.
I have friends who've gone through Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's actually a very effective.
Oh, that's different.
Well, no. You hear out the finish though. It's very effective, but they also make people who are going through that go to this like Mothers Against Drunk Driving thing, and it actually is known to cause people to recede back into alcoholism worse.
Yeah.
Because it's pure 100% guilt and like showing horrible pictures of like things that have happened to children hit by drunk drivers and such. It's like
guilt is never.
Yeah, and so like it is screwy shit, and it's kind of like why. It's why I'm weird in that I believe like parents have the responsibility of raising their children, and we have a responsibility as a society of helping them do so.
Yeah.
We also should keep like mothers from organizing.
No, I get that.
Mothers should never be allowed to organize.
No, they should, because then that's how we get shit like that's literally how we got the parental advisory.
Although actually,
which actually didn't do shit because it's like, oh, this is the album I want to get because it has this label.
Yep, it actually did more for record sales than anything.
Which is ironically funny, but also just like, really, guys? We thought this was gonna work?
Yeah, it's the Streisand effect. Or is it Streisand?
Jane Fonda?
I can't remember. It's the I don't want people to look at my fancy house on the internet effect.
Oh.
Yeah, some like really wealthy celebrity had a really nice beach house and was like, no, I don't want people to post pictures of it on the internet. So then, suddenly pictures
That's always how it goes.
Yep. They learned the rule of the internet. Do not try to stop the internet. Dun, dun, dun,
oh,
dun,
yeah,
dun.
that's how we got all those Photoshop pictures of Shakira from the one Super Bowl.
Yep.
It was like, take this picture down. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so funny when you just get these people that don't understand like how the internet works.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the one that I heard about was like, it was some lady that was like popular in Second Life for whatever reason, so they decided to do an interview with her in an open studio where people could come and watch in Second Life.
Hey, Pistol.
And that ended about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's have Rage Against the Machine on the BBC to sing Killing in the Name of, but don't let them say the F word. Meanwhile, it's Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite YouTube videos of all time. It's like, we told them not to do it, but they did it anyway. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah. Okay, no, it is the Streisand effect that I was trying to think of.
Barbra Streisand. How old is she now? Is she dead?
No, she's still alive, as far as I know. She's 81.
When is the appropriate time to start suspecting a celebrity of being a lich?
now. But that's just me, knowing that they, all the celebrities are part of the global elite, and that they have, those magical, like, life-altering drugs and...
The adrenochrome and shit.
Well, I was about to start going into, like, my friend... I have a friend. I love him to death.
Hold on, let me put on this tinfoil hat.
Seriously.
I was just about to start quoting Alex Jones, but...
And like, to me, Alex Jones is an absolute meme. He's hilarious. But it's just like, my bro.
I wouldn't take him seriously.
That's exactly what I mean.
How often does he get shirtless on air? It's like President Camacho from Idiocracy, if you take him seriously.
Yep.
Fucking idiot. Terry Crews is great, is that... It's like, I want to watch White Chicks again just to see, like, the Terry Crews part at the end where he, like, gets shot and he's like... It's like, I forget what he gets all upset about, but it's just, like, the funniest shit. He's like, he's not even upset that he was, like, the one of the Wayans brothers was, like, undercover as, like, some white chick. It was just, like... It's like... I forget what it was. I gotta watch that clip again, but it was so funny.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, that's just reminding me of the whole joke from, what's it called? Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
White Chicks was amazing.
White Chicks was amazing. He believes it, too. Ah! Bernadette being just like, what the fuck who the fuck is this man?
I mean, I would say White Chicks is better than a number of movies. I'd say it's definitely better than The Village. That movie sucked.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's one of the most
hard,
boring...
It's hard not to suck against films from that time.
God, the early 2000s was really a glut of that, wasn't it?
Well, not just 2000s. Like, okay, Shyamalan is this weird anomaly where he makes really great films and really shit films and nothing in between.
The duality of Shyamalan, I get you.
The Shyamalama.
The Shyamalama effect. I mean, I'm trying to think, what was a good movie that he did? I guess Signs is one of the ones he's most well known for.
Signs, Unbreakable, The Sixth Sense.
You know, it's funny, my fiance and I, we first met because we saw Glass in theaters together, and that movie was so just like, what the fuck is this?
Yep. Basically, what it is that he's fully committed to the bit, whatever it is, but the bit may not actually be interesting.
Yeah.
Or the bit may be totally interesting, and then he's totally committed to it. But yeah.
It's like Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't know.
Well, in the sense that Sacha Baron Cohen's totally committed to the bit in comedy, and is like, goes maybe too far or not far enough, depending on who you're talking to. Very nice.
Man, they're boring. Alright, Mad Ducks is looking good. I will be right back, and then we will color him.
Yes. 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 So today's list for art, Mr. Pistol, is we are doing the Garbage Pail Kids versions of Aux members. So last week we did Diggs, what's his name? Spara, Tim, and Techie. So we just did Goat, and we're in the middle of Mad Ducks right now.
I have returned.
And now Crispy's back, and we may continue mocking our friends.
Yes. But that's how they know we love them.
Yay!
Friendship
Happy
is
lovey-dovey
mocking.
noises.
I mean magic.
Speaking of, I am sore tempted to actually, now that like people are aware of it on something of a meme level, I am actually sore tempted to run a Fallout Equestria game for the aux at some point.
Oh God.
Because like I've actually run games in that setting. It's one of my favorite settings, as crazy as it is. And now that Tex has done that like podcast episode on, at least with the one author.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's a strange one. I never in a million years. I was familiar with like the art shit that I saw from it, but I wasn't aware how widespread Fallout Equestria was until that podcast. I was like, oh,
yep.
okay.
There comes a time.
And I can't really hate for it being a really strange setting because I like Rifts. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's the what do you call it? It's just sort of the what do you call it? There's a certain effect, and it's basically the salt on chocolate effect. That's what it is. Where you think salt and chocolate don't go together, but they actually very much do.
I get what you're saying.
And with Fallout Equestria, the big thing is that it's, it works upon the shared... what's the word I'm looking for? It works upon the shared themes between Fallout and My Little Pony, which you would think is strange, except for the whole point of Fallout is, well, kind of, we stopped being kind to each other. We stopped caring about each other. We stopped considering each other. And so forth. And so, like, it weirdly manages to weave those together. And then also, ideas like ponies with grenades and sniper rifles.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rifts is literally just like a mishmash of everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what I like about it, where it's like a blend of like you have like these sci-fi cyberpunk like nations and shit. They're like the coalition where everything's just like skulls on top of skulls with their tech and everything, and then you have like mythology and like Atlantis and shit being real, except Atlantis is like Lovecraftian horrors, and then you have like post-apocalyptic like Quebec being its own independent nation state and everything. Just like all sorts of crazy stuff. I just love that kind of mix where you can like mix different genres together in a cohesive way. Usually it's a post-apocalyptic way, which is fine.
Yep. Haven't done Rifts in a minute. I advise against Pony Finder. Digiman mentioning a game that I know well.
Oh no.
Pony Finder, the pony mod for Pathfinder.
Oh. I don't know how I feel about that.
It goes about as weird as you think. They, to their credit, they did really good with the lore, but just like they didn't mechanicalize it well.
Yeah. That's the one thing I feel like it's hard to. It's one thing to write a setting. It's different to write a setting that you can play a game in.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that, there is something of a... The Brony fandom only really works if you leave slip room for headcanon. Because, like, the show, if you're going to watch it as an adult, requires interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way around that, and that's just because, some of the concepts, they're simplified, they're for children. But when you watch it as an adult, those are going to create, little dissonances in your head, like, well, how does this even work if... And, of course, that's never going to be something canonically dealt with by a children's show.
No.
This, of course, leads to the on-running meme within the fandom of Mr. Cake and Shining Armor high-fiving each other because they're both dads, and it says on the bottom, "We've canonically had sex."
I will say I'm somewhat surprised that Bronies are still going as a fandom, but I also didn't really follow it after a certain point in college, because that's when it really started becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of the rule that what do you call it? Star Trek started. Like, Star Trek itself wasn't actually very successful during its first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It didn't get successful until after its syndication. So just because a fandom cools down for a while doesn't usually indicate that it's gonna go away.
I mean, that's something I can understand, especially when it comes to things like BattleTech. You can really see an example of that there.
Yep.
Anyway, there's Mad Ducks.
Well, howdy.
Oh, do we have a new person that just joined?
Toilet Obliterator is yelling Krispy Kroot.
Krupiker. Burger.
So, now is the part where I both indulge myself and sit in dread.
Oh no.
Draw me.
Oh, Storm Song.
Ah!
Oh man, I gotta think about that one. Let's see.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh god. wait, hold on a second.
Oh no, he's gonna paint me like a French girl. No! Cease! I love you.
Thanks.
We're bad people.
Oh, we are. It's fine. I mean, I figure it's gonna be pony related considering the fucking conversation we just had.
Mm-hmm. And every avatar I've had thus far has been a pony.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Granted, it's usually been a ponified version of a My Hero character.
Oh, I see. I'm familiar with My Hero Academia, I just never got into it. Mostly because I'm not I'm very picky when it comes to anime, if that makes sense.
Sensible. Whereas I'm all about that feel-good anime.
Hey man, teach their own, right?
And My Hero is definitely very feel-good anime. Well, actually, not always. Sometimes it beats the shit out of you, but, when I say feel, what I mean is it's, morally uplifting and, about genuinely good characters.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm watching, Stardust Memory, and it's just Sig Zeon, we will drop a colony on the Earth!
Well, that has its own value, and I do absolutely love me some, proper Gundam.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not able to compare it to BattleTech, because they're each obviously their own things, but I think there's plenty of good Gundam series. It's just knowing which ones to look at,
Yes.
I definitely think Stardust Memory is one of the better ones.
I actually haven't watched Stardust Memory yet. I need to see what that's about.
I would recommend it. Basically, the short of it is, without spoiling too much of the plot, is there's Zeon remnants, which I figure you know who Zeon is.
Yeah.
Zeon remnants steal a prototype Gundam that's armed with a nuclear warhead. And it's basically...
So it's kind of, it's Gundam, the sum of all fears.
That is very accurate, actually, yeah. But instead of, oh god, who's that in that movie? Is that Ben Affleck that's in Sum of All Fears? I think it's Ben Affleck. Anyway,
yeah.
Instead you have this squadron of rookie pilots led by their instructor who go after them in mobile suits, with the main character, of course, being in a Gundam, another prototype Gundam that was with the second one, which got stolen. And it just kind of goes from there, and it's this whole big thing of the Zeon remnants trying to strike back, which, honestly, that's one of the things that I kind of find interesting about Gundam, at least when it comes to, the Universal Century, is, you have the Zeon who fought a war and were defeated, but you just see so many examples of their remnants coming back,
and it's also interesting to me because it doesn't just demonize them either.
No, it actually gives them that, and that's the thing too. It gives them personality, which you get a lot of that in Stardust. So if you're into that, you'll like Stardust a lot.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
the
you have spiky hair, and that's always the most pain in the ass thing for me to draw.
My actual hair is long and straight with a slight curling, but if we go with the spiky hair based on my profile,
I was gonna say
fine with
I'm
it.
going more off your profile, but we'll make
No,
it
that's-
work.
Yeah, no. Go off my profile if that's easier.
Yeah. It's what I associate with, so.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bode well for me, considering my profile is the cursed Sonic picture that I drew a while ago.
Yeah, no, the my hero character that's in that picture is... Oh, moral of the story, don't make new Gundams! The character in question that's ponified in that picture, Kirishima, is sort of the... What's the word I'm looking for? He's the overly nice, like, God, you're too pure for this world, member of the team in My Hero Academia. And he's also the one who's basically got the Colossus powers.
Oh.
So like his whole thing is you can keep hitting him and he's gonna keep getting back up.
I see.
And so I'm like, an overly nice guy that also has all the Constitution scored. That's very much a Storm Song character.
Well, I was going to look up a reference picture, but I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to just kind of do my own thoughts on this.
Yep.
Because it's more fun that way. I'm also just remembered I'm not really good at drawing anime eyes, so... It's funny, for how much I learned how to draw from like manga books and stuff, like how to draw anime books and things, I like really didn't take to the anime style of things a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of my influence comes from like Western cartoons as it is anyway. I mean, shit, I grew up in the era of Cartoon Network, like original Cartoon Network.
Yeah, so Toonami and Dexter's Lab and
Yeah, Samurai Jack.
Cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And I
that
know
sort
you
of
said
stuff.
Samurai Jack, but for some reason my brain thought you were going to say Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Yes, he remembers.
I'm at least familiar. There's definitely a lot of cartoons that I look back on. I'm just like, oh. It's like that. Did you ever see that Totally Spies show that used to be on?
I remember it roughly. Like, I never watched it. Because that was at the age where I was still very much like, ew, that's a girl show.
Well, I'll tell you what. I used to watch that show as a kid, and they definitely put a lot of things in there that were a bit more adult in nature in terms of themes. It's like a bunch of horny Frenchmen making that cartoon, I swear.
Somehow
you can find,
I would not
like,
be surprised.
No, it's a French-Canadian cartoon, so take that how you will. I bet you if you go on, like, YouTube, or just, I bet you if you just Google images, you can find, like, plenty of examples from it. It's just like, oh yeah, that's definitely, like, someone's fetish. I say as I draw a pony.
That's the thing, like, the ponies have never been sexual for me, so, like, I don't get...
I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying that's part of the fandom.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's true. It's just, like, it's the part of the fandom that I don't connect with, so I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm confused. Why? They're cute little
it's
ponies.
It's different, I don't like it. God, you look back on, like, the cartoons of our childhood, and you're just like, how many of these were an awakening for someone?
Uh-oh. And yes, you're right.
Alright. You know, I wasn't expecting to draw a pony today, but here we are.
Take it.
I mean, there's worse things that I could be drawing right now.
Take it in the plot. A plot is a horse's butt, by the way.
Oh, I thought it was just like that anime thing where it's like it's time for plot, and then it's obviously something that's like more sexual. It's like I watch anime for the plot. Also anime.
Yep.
There's definitely anime I remember being on TV that my parents would like be in the room when I was watching, where I look back on them like, oh god.
Yep. There's definitely ones like that where I'm like, I wonder if they got the joke at the moment.
Yeah. Like, you go
Some of
back
them
and
are
watch
very...
like... Yeah. You go back and watch like Dragon Ball, for instance, and it's just like, oh...
Yes, panties.
yeah, there's literally an episode where, is it Oolong, I think, makes the wish for the panties, and it's just like... Just a pair of panties just show up on screen. It's like a literal pig making this wish, too. And I think that's like... Around the same time there was an...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very much the joke. He's a pig.
Oh yeah. And then I think there's a... That's still when Bulma's wearing like the bunny costume that he has because of reasons.
Well...
Yeah, it's definitely one of those animes where I was like, I wonder if my parents remember this shit. It's funny, it was like a cross between that as a kid, and then I was like watching Batman, the animated series and things, which had some like seriously heavy episodes and shit.
Oh, yeah, like I was
themes.
going back and watching that, and I mean, I knew it was more mature than other shows were for kids at the time, but like,
Yeah.
I was not prepared to re-experience the level of intensity that is that show.
Yeah, I have the DVD of the show. I need to watch more of it, especially now that Kevin Conroy is gone, R.I.P.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite voice actors. He was actually in a lot of stuff, too. I think he was Calo Nord in Knights of the Old Republic, for one.
He was quite a few different characters.
Yeah. At least we still got Peter Cullen.
Yep.
You can tell, like, how much the role of Optimus Prime means to him, like, in interviews and things that he does. I think part of it has to do with he based part of it on his brother, because his brother was in the military at the time.
Yeah. No, I remember watching, he did an interview and he talked about that.
Yeah. I remember, there was that one Robot Chicken sketch where Optimus Prime does like a dramatization of getting prostate cancer, and it's like a whole thing about like
Yeah.
at the end where Jazz is like, "So get your ass checked out before it's too late, turkeys." And what I
Yeah.
actually read about that was originally they actually did want to get Peter Cullen for that part, but he didn't want to do that because of how much he felt the role meant to people, as well as I'm sure to himself, and they respected him on that, which, you know, good on them.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah, it's like I can't think of Optimus Prime without it being Peter Cullen. And I grew up too in an era where it was like I think my first real exposure to Transformers was Transformers Armada, the fucking that series where it's like more anime style.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my first introduction to the original Transformers series was the episode where they bring Optimus Prime back from the dead.
Yep. Because people were like, but he's the Optimus Prime.
And that's what started the trend that turned him into Robot Jesus.
Yep. Remember, Optimus Prime died for your sins.
The thing is, too, it's like there's times where they've had the opportunity to replace Optimus Prime and they've backed away from it. Like, the most recent example I can think of was there was the show Transformers Prime, and they were building up this whole arc where the one young, like, reckless Autobot Smokescreen was they were making it set up to where he was going to be Optimus Prime. And then right at the moment where he could have become Prime, he like does some like Deus Ex Machina thing that brings Optimus Prime back to the dead, bigger and more buff, and with a new toy for people to buy. But it's like, in terms of like the story narrative they were setting up, like they could have very easily, turned it into something of him being like a Rodimus or something.
Yeah, actually done what you're kind of supposed to in that case, but like, yeah, it's a fine line because I understand the psychology behind it, and a lot of people fail to realize just how important psychology is in the way people react to a show like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the reasoning is you're dealing with the coolest character in the show, let's say Optimus in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also the father figure in a show for kids.
He very much is a father figure, yeah, when you're right.
Yeah, so like killing a father figure is really risky when dealing in children's material. You can do it well, that's where we get Mufasa. But you don't kill a father figure usually in a TV show. Unless you do it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you understand that in doing so, you are intentionally thrusting, your audience into a place where they, for lack of a better way to put it, don't feel safe anymore.
I mean, that was kind of Yeah, oh, go ahead.
Well, that's the whole point of killing off a parent in a story, is you are taking away safety from the main character.
Which does make sense, kind of, in the Transformers movie where Optimus Prime dies, which they killed off a lot of characters in that movie, which, of course, was part because of the plot, and part because also, make room for new toys. But they killed off so many of the main characters from the original show and everything.
Yep.
Like, everyone remembers Optimus Prime dying, but there's that whole scene where the Decepticons storm their shuttle and just, like, kill off, like, Ratchet and Ironhide and, like, all these other main Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
In brutal ways, too. It's just, like...
Yep. And, yeah, it's one of those things where it's, like, you might be writing from a perspective of, say, understanding, like, military conflict and such, and, even portraying it accurately, but children are going to have reactions to things.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, unfortunately, it's not even really the children's fault in that regard, but because parents aren't really preparing themselves for the fact that, hey, their kid may see something, and they have to have an important conversation with their kid about that thing.
Yeah.
Like, we shy away from death way too much around kids, when in fact it's something they kind of need to know about.
I will tell you from my own anxiety that is very true. It's not really something I was exposed to growing up, and not to get too into it, but it's definitely something that can stick in my mind a lot.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, a lot of times, we do children a great disservice by not preparing them for that.
And that's why I'm going to show my kids Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, I mean, everything in its due levels.
I know, I'm joking. First of all, I don't have kids.
I know, but, like...
Oh, God, that's a horrible way to cause, like, trauma in your child. Especially with the fucking scene in the, in the bathroom.
Oh, God. I require eyebrows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to give you those.
Nah, I'm just joking around. Like,
well, no, I'm glad you said that, because I completely forgot. Also gave you claws for some reason, so... Hold on, I gotta make your tail less clumpy.
I'm fine with the claws because, honestly, like, the one pony OC I've ever actually had is a werewolf pony, so...
Oh, very fitting then.
Show me your war face!
I I like the one edit somebody did of that, where when they're like yelling, they have like a toothbrush in their mouth, just like brushing their teeth.
Yep. Oh god, I gotta find this meme for you. I'll just read it to you because it is read worthy, but it is like very what the hell. So it shows Sweetie Belle, who's one of the ponies from My Little Pony, and she's wearing a bathrobe and holding a cup of coffee. I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it.
It's that scene from
shopping. She buys shit. I buy the gourmet expensive stuff because when I want to drink it, I want to taste it. You know what? That's not what's on my mind right now. It ain't the coffee in my kitchen. It's the dead Pegasus in my garage.
It's like that. I love that one SpongeBob edit where they put that scene, or like the audio from that scene over the part where like it's when SpongeBob's trying to stay inside because he didn't want to hurt his butt.
Yep.
It's just like him all angry talking, and it's Patrick, just like Samuel L. Jackson's character. Let me ask you something. When you drove to my house, that's a scene I can't quote, or we're gonna get in trouble.
Though that's why the payoff of the whole meme there is that she says dead Pegasus in my garage.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is he gonna actually, like, when you were reading it? It was like, oh no.
No, that only happens once I've decided that the abs has gone on long enough.
Oh, so that's that's the self-destruct button. I got you. It's like, all right, we're going off the air, everybody. So
we're gonna say the one thing we can never come back from. Cuts to each of us with our one black friend. You could have just quit the show. It's
like, it's like the Eric Andre, like, we'll be right back.
I wish I were LeVar Burton.
I forgot about that one.
I wish I were LeVar Burton. Don't Rainbow read me.
Doesn't he have LeVar Burton on it for an episode? I forget.
I don't remember.
Oh man, God, that show is just like the black Scientologist bit. Just with they're out in the middle of the street with the fucking megaphone. Just, what do we want, Xenu? When do we want it? 10 million years or so.
Some real what the fuck shit going on right there.
Dude, there's definitely times where I watch the Eric Andre show and I'm like, I don't remember taking drugs, but it feels like I'm on them. Like, what is happening right now? The one where he's like the octopus, and like he's got the 8 like dwarves as the octopus.
God, you say these things, and I forget that they were real, but they were.
I know, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I did not nail the audition at the Fruit Loops. My body is your communion. Oh my gosh. Trying to reset my brain because there's so many things from that just... I know, right? Whoa. It's like, oh, can't say... Nope, can't say that one. Can't say that one. Yep. There, somebody did like an edit where it's like, like the Eric Andre show, but it's just like Half-Life sound effects. It's oddly fitting.
That somehow works way better than it should, because I can imagine it in my head already. Oh god, it's too bad we'll never get Eric Andre interviews the G-Man. Oh man. That would be kind of funny. Just because there's one quote that I wanted to say that I can't. I don't know if I should say. Cock and ball torture, Dr. Freeman. All right, there we go. You're going to go ahead and say it then. No, we've referenced that before. Oh, have we? I forget sometimes. Not on this particular show of ours, but like as a group, yes, we've referenced that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, it's like, we bring up stuff in the Aux Unplugged podcast, and then we'll be talking about it like a week later. I'm like, did that actually happen? Did we actually say that? Like, I don't remember us saying that in the episode. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like, oh shit, what did I say last night?
That do be how it do be do. Me boy.
Alright. Oh yeah, you had like the neck thingy. I don't know why, but I just think of a choker for some reason.
It's part of his armor.
Oh, he has armor.
I'm like, choker? I'm not into that shit. Oh, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, I mean that kind of choker. Choker, I barely know her. Uh, Alright. Once again, I'm getting to the point where I'm drawing is like I'm losing my layers. There's too many. Oh, turns out I have 2 layers with nothing on them. Okay. I should organize them better, but I'm terrible at that. And that's my fault. Oh, that's right. It's not so much a choker. It's like a neck doohickey thing.
Gorget.
Gesundheit.
Gorget is the plate that you wear on your neck when you're in armor.
Oh, so that's like, I mean, the example I think of, is that like on the Roman Centurion helmets, this sort of side flaps?
That would be, those are just part of the helmet. Gorget is going to be more like an actual plate going around the neck.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So it's what, yeah, like we would think of it as a choker, but like that was not what its purpose was.
Yeah. Oh, right, you need a cutie mark. Also, I hate that I just said those words, but...
Victory.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I respect your right to pony, but for me it's just like,
I have made you cringe.
Yes.
Your cringe is my delight.
Reminding me of some times in college. Fuck. Oh, that's right. I remember what I wanted to do. As soon as I remember how to do colors. It's the fun part. It's like there's artists who's like, oh yeah, I use specific colors and things. It's like I just fuck with the CIYMK settings till I get something that looks nice.
Yes.
It's like, oh, what's your process? It's like, it's this little thing called I'll wing it.
Yep.
Or to quote the U.S. Army Operations Manual, if we don't know what we're doing, the enemy surely can't anticipate our actions.
Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Oxels gathered in their masses, just like autists with big axes. Derpy minds that plot destruction. Sorcerers of Dick's construction. Oh Lord, yeah!
Just kazoo. Wait, I have a kazoo.
Yay! They fully paid for our sins.
Oh, I know. Just get banned for weight, but it's worth it. Yes, it's all coming together now. Yes. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let me add some more detail to that to bring it out a bit more, because it's not really as stand-outy as I would like. Alright. I would say that that is that.
Aw,
Hey, our Storm.
It
Alright,
is
well,
the stormiest of songs.
well, as much as I'd like to draw more, I think I'm going to cut it here early because I got to get ready for some plans later.
Yes,
So-
understandable.
Yes. Alright, well, hey, thank you everybody for tuning in to watch the ads, and we will see you all later.
Yep, thank you. You all have a good one.